I'm continuing my bird study series with 4 different Guineafowl species, using each sketch as both a drawing exercise and a way to learn more about the animals themselves. Even though these are quick studies, I always add simple digital color rather than keeping them as plain sketches because I want to practice capturing the distinctive colors and patterns of each species, although I keep them unfinished so my patterns and textures can sometimes be a bit underdeveloped, but drawing inspiration from textures and colors of these animals is another thing that inspires me, not just their shapes. Working this way helps me stay loose, learn faster, and build a growing library of references that I can return to later for creature design, character ideas, or world building inspiration. For example, the study that I'm working on is of a eastern crested Guineafowl, and it is really worth the analysis. It has a wonderfully distinctive head shape built from a few bold graphic forms. The most striking feature is the rounded puffed crest, a loose curly mass that sits high on the skull like an irregular sphere of soft texture. Beneath it, the head itself is relatively small and tapered, forming a gentle wedge shape that narrows toward the beak. The beak is short, slightly down-curved and compact, giving the silhouette a sturdy, utilitarian feel. The facial skin adds another layer of contrast. Smooth patches around the eyes and cheeks break the feathered outline, creating flat shapes that interrupt the otherwise round forms. The eyes sit deep within the head, appearing as small glossy beads, which enhances the bird's alert presence. Altogether, the combination of a voluminous crest, a narrow face, and angular beak shapes makes this species instantly recognizable and highly appealing for stylized studies. So it is one of the most visually striking members of the Guineafowl family. Because of this recognizable, dense, curled black crest, dotted plumage, and bright facial accents of cobalt blue and red. Native to Eastern Africa, it thrives in woodland and savanna habitats, moving in small flocks and relying on its bold patterns for a mix of camouflage and display. For visual designers, this bird is a treasure chest of inspiration. Its textured crest can inspire imaginative hairstyles or fantasy headdresses, while its spotted feathers translate beautifully into costume patterns, fabric prints, or surface designs. The strong contrast between dark plumage and vivid facial colors can guide color palettes for characters, creatures, or costume pieces. In concept art, the silhouette of the head alone, rounded yet expressive, can spark ideas for alien species, masks, or ceremonial attire. It's a species that is perfect for creative reinterpretation. Then I studied the Vulturine Guineafowl, which is the largest and most visually dramatic of all Guineafowl species. It can be recognized by its long neck, vulture-like bare head, and extraordinary cloak of cobalt blue, black, and white feathers. Native to dry savannas and scrublands of East Africa, it moves in tight, fast-running flocks and relies on its bold vertical striping to blend into the tall grasses. Its anatomy is a fascinating mix of delicate and imposing features. The narrow, almost snake-like neck contrasts with the broad, sweeping feather cape. The small, sharp head sits atop a surprisingly elegant posture, and the slim legs give the bird a lightweight, agile silhouette. From a shape analysis perspective, the Vulturine Guineafowl is all about exaggerated proportions and striking lines. The elongated neck creates a graceful arc that leads into the dramatic fan of long, lens-shaped feathers. Those vertical stripes visually stretch the body, making the bird appear taller. The contrast between its sleek upper body and the rounded, more typical Guineafowl frame creates a unique two-part silhouette that reads instantly. I hope, even in my quick study. For visual inspiration, this species is a goldmine. The cape alone could inspire fantasy armor, royal mantles, costume colors, or avant-garde fashion designs. Its bold color palette, electric blue against deep black broken by crisp white lines, can easily be adapted into character designs, textile prints, or even user interface aesthetics. The structure of its neck and head could inform creature design, particularly for elegant yet slightly intimidating species. The way the feathers fall in layered curves can inspire hairstyles, jewelry motifs, or layered costume silhouettes. Overall, the vulturine guineafowl is one of those animals that feels like it walked straight out of concept art, making it perfect fuel for any creative project. Then I turned my attention on the helmeted guineafowl. It is probably the species most people picture when they think of guineafowl, but for me, I did not know much about these birds, so they were all new to me. But I feel like its head alone is a perfect little bundle of character. For this species, I focused only on a head study, and I actually find that limiting myself like this helps me look more carefully at the shapes and textures, because the rest of the body is similar to other birds in the same family, so instead of repeating myself, I'm focusing on learning more. The bony casque on the top of its head is such a strange, almost prehistoric structure, part helmet, part ornament, and I really like how it instantly gives the bird a tough, slightly comical personality. The bright wattles, the blue facial skin, and those beady dark eyes create a mixture of softness and intensity that I think is incredibly fun to draw. Shape-wise, I find the helmeted guineafowl head to be a collection of contrasts. The smooth dome of the casque against the wrinkled skin, the sharp beak paired with soft hanging wattles, the roundness of the skull punctuated by crisp angles. It feels like a design made from both hard surface and organic materials, which is why I think it's especially inspiring for visual development. When it comes to design ideas, I feel this species offers so much, even from just a head study. The casque could inspire fantasy helmets, tribal accessories, or even architectural motifs. The color blocking on the face makes me think of bold face paint patterns or stylized character markings, and the wattles, with their symmetry and pop of color, could become jewelry shapes or creature adornments. I really like how such a small, quirky head can spark so many possibilities, and I'm glad I took the time to study it on its own. I ended my studies with the white-breasted guineafowl, but at this point I was tired and this species didn't feel as inspiring as the others, so I kept it as a very small, quick study. I still found it interesting to observe its more muted color palette and the simple contrast between its dark feathers and white chest. Even in a brief sketch, I could pay attention to the elegant curve of its beak, the smooth dome of its head, and the subtle texture differences across the skin and feathers. I think this bird shows that inspiration doesn't always have to come from bold colors or extravagant shapes. I like that even a quite understated species can offer ideas for minimalistic design or subtle character traits. The gentle transitions between dark and light areas made me consider softer, more blended color schemes in future designs. Its head shape and profile could inspire streamlined masks, simple ornamental patterns, or costume details that are elegant without being flashy. Even though this was a small, quick study, I feel it was still valuable. It reminded me that not every species can be dramatic, eye-catching reference. Sometimes the quieter forms are just as useful for developing visual vocabulary. I'm glad I included it as a conclusion to this series of Guineafowl sketches, and it made the page complete. So overall, I'm quite happy with how this page turned out. I wrapped up this set of Guineafowl studies, but now I feel motivated to keep going and explore more bird species. Each sketch teaches me something new about shapes, colors, and patterns, and I think these lessons will be invaluable for both my future design work, and my visual library. I want to continue learning, experimenting, and capturing the diversity of birds, other animals, and plants, and I'm excited to see where the next pages will take me. So, see you in my next species study.